Donald Trump coming out, making a brief statement saying that, this is indeed a very unifying thing, that he's appreciative of how the Supreme Court voted on this, but he's a little perturbed that he has to go through everything else. What is it, 91 counts that he's been indicted on, ladies and gentlemen? 91 counts. Think about that. And think about the waste of time. Think about the waste of money. He did bring up Letitia James, who thinks that somehow she knows the valuation of his properties better than Deutsche Bank, who's lending to him, would actually know. And now, as a result, he's going to pay $500 million. The Secretary of State in Colorado, is this lady mad? This lady's mad because she feels that she had every right as a little lonely state to actually say, you know what, we're gonna come through and just ambush the whole system, and we're gonna make it so that nobody can vote for Trump because we feel so passionately against him that we're going to decide everything for the rest of the country. Let's listen to this woman. I think we've got this up ready to go, who's just so clearly, frankly, a narcissist living in her own world. It should just revolt you. Here we go.
Given how you see this case, given how a number of independent and some Republican voters in your state, the ones who brought this case, see Donald Trump, as you said, an oath-breaking insurrectionist. What do you make of the voters in your state across the country that still believe that he should be president and that he's still qualified to be president?
Ultimately, that will be a voter's decision. I think there's a lot of reason for voters to look really hard at this upcoming election. And what we have seen in swing states, swing districts, that in 2018, 2020, and 2022, American voters have stepped up to safeguard American democracy. Look, this upcoming election will have a big impact on our fundamental freedoms. The idea that women should have control over our own bodies, the idea that our democracy should remain intact, and some really basic agreement among Americans will be affected in this upcoming election. What I hope for is that Americans pay really close attention, and I am immensely hopeful and optimistic that, again, democracy will remain intact and this country will have centuries ahead of us with a strong representation.
Do you have confidence in the Supreme Court?
I would say as an office holder, it is my job to uphold the decision of the United States Supreme Court. And that's why I've always said from the beginning of this litigation that I'll follow what the United States Supreme Court decides, even if I disagree with them, which I do. I think the Supreme Court has issued bad decisions on democracy. I think what's happening in this country for American women is horrendous. The idea that the overturning of Roe is leading to women not even being able to access fertility treatment in the state of Alabama. And overall, again, the United States Supreme Court decision will not be the make it or break it as to whether democracy survives. The make it or break it will be the American people. And that's who I have the utmost confidence and trust in.
Do you think this court is partisan?
I think this court has had obviously some pretty big issues. Whether it has been, Clarence Thomas's wife's role, gifts that have gone unreported, and there are some pretty big decisions that have come out of the court that I highly disagree with, and I think strip Americans of our basic human rights and fundamental freedoms. With that said, we live in a country of rule of law. We have to respect the court's decisions while disagreeing with them. And honestly, I think that's something that MAGA Republicans could take a lesson from. It's okay to disagree with decisions in one another and not turn into violent rhetoric and attempts to steal elections. You win cases, you lose cases, just like elections. And what we need Donald Trump to understand is that there are losers and winners in elections. And if you lose an election, that does not mean it's stolen from you. And that does not give you the ability to have incite an assault on the United States Capitol and the country.
Colorado second.
Wow. Okay, Jenna. like I said, a total narcissist. Look, she told us that she thinks the Supreme Court is making bad decisions on democracy, that she doesn't have faith in the Supreme Court, but that she does have faith in the American people. If she had faith in the American people, then what the heck is she doing saying, we're going to take this guy off the ballot? That's not how it works. If you have faith in the American people, then you allow them to vote for whoever it is that they want to vote for, even if that person is not on your side. Okay, Jenna? Okay, lefties? And this is indeed the entire problem of this moment.